Best little wrestling podcast in the business. Your host BT and all his guests. You'll never know who he'll have next. Shooting the shiznit, shooting the shiznit. Best little wrestling podcast in the business. Shooting the shiznit.
All right. We're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is an stspod.club production, and I have one of my longtime friends. 5-minute time limit tonight. That's right. I'm only giving him five minutes, Dustin. Only 5 minutes, but later on this week, everyone stick around. We're going to have at least 20 more minutes. So talk to me. We're going to talk real quick. Hey,
what's up, Woody?
I'm going to let you talk. We got a bunch of people waiting to get in here, so we're going to go ahead and get our 5 minutes going. So talk to me about how important it was for you to get somebody on this WWE ID. And you can talk about what the ID is, but mainly the importance of getting somebody ID'd.
Man, it's Giving Tuesday today, the International Day of Giving. I've been on set all day, came home, took the powder off my face just to come on here for you to ask me about WWE ID. And man, it was absolutely awesome. I do feel like that it was necessary for somebody to get signed. If we are what we say we are and we are what they say we are, WWE, any of the feedback that I've got from them, it felt like that either we had to be selected as a WWE ID training center, or we at least had to have somebody signed out of our roster.
Is that something that could happen, still happen, to be a training center? Because we did notice, you mentioned this on one of your other podcast appearances, but it's only the WWE legends, pretty much that are
so
getting
far.
those. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's because there's a level of trust and respect and everything with those guys. Cody, Seth Rollins, Rikishi, who else? Booker T. And then the elite school is very friendly with Triple H. I think they used to train together back in the day and all that stuff. So it was very obvious who they chose and why they chose them. But it makes me feel like that what happens 6 months down the line when this is very successful? What happens 1 year down the line when it's very successful? And also, if we're never part of the WWE ID training center or anything like that, I mean, we're still going to be a place where they want to send their talent to wrestle on TV. Very similar to back in the day with Memphis Wrestling and the developmental contract. They would send guys here to live in Memphis and to work on our television program. Now, we might not have them moving here just yet, but we'll definitely have some people coming in here to train to be a part of the WWE ID. And it was just very, very important. I mean, look at the guys that we have on the roster. The one that they signed is 6'4", 420 pounds, 23 years old. Aaron Roberts, he's a second-generation wrestler, possibly even a third-generation wrestler.
Third generation. He's a third generation. Yep.
This dude's mom and dad both wrestled. Their family wrestled. Like, I saw a recent promo that he didn't even have a first day of training camp. Like, he grew up in the world of professional wrestling. And then also for him to be the one that signed, Aaron Roberts, who is, by the way, the current reigning defending Memphis Heritage champion, also the only Grand Slam winner that we've ever had, it seems like we're doing something right. So, yeah, it was important for somebody to get that contract.
And we talked about this on Shooting Star before, how you getting and having the Wrestle Center as first class, and we, I try to not look at any of the bad things that people say, but we've said this before on conversations with just me and you on the phone, which no, me and Dustin don't talk every day. I'm not his, well, okay, I am his boy, but go ahead.
We're boys.
The idea that why would you, and I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow, or when we record, why would you want to go anywhere else if you're a wrestler in Memphis?
Well, the only reason you want to go somewhere else is because you can't come to us. And anybody that's in the professional wrestling business that's within a 150 to 200 to 300 mile radius of us, if you are talking smack about the show, it's just for the simple fact that you're not on it. There's nothing bad to say about the show. The show is actually good. It's entertaining. The roster is absolutely loaded. Our feature attractions are off the chain. Dude, we've got Joe Hendry coming. You know what I mean? Like, we've got Joe Hendry coming with AJ Francis and Buff Bagwell all on the same show. We just had Tony Atlas and we had Tugboat here. You know what I mean? Like, it is literally the who's who. And in Facebook, the last 28 days, we've reached 2 million people, BT. And on YouTube in the last 28 days, we've had over 1 million views. So you tell me why somebody wouldn't want to come work for Memphis Wrestling, other than the simple fact that they can't because we don't want them.
Well, they got heat with me or you. So that's the
Right.
first thing. You can't have heat with me or you. You
Right.
won't be able to work there. But I've got the mindset now when I see people looking for dates and hey, I'm free for this date. I've even got the mindset where I'm looking at that guy and saying, think Dustin could use him?
You're not
Man,
the
go-
only one. I get
Yeah,
messages.
I'm constantly looking at that stuff. And if they provide a YouTube link or something, I'll go and I'll look at them and decide whether, that's something that whether you all could use them in one place or not. What gets me is we have these people coming in and out and this does not matter. Whether you win or lose, and they lose a lot of matches and then they just leave. You don't see them again.
That's ridiculous because there's a structure to every show. There's these characters that come in, and whether they're the first match, the last match, the middle match, just a promo. I'll use Reverend Ash Taylor as an example. Reverend Ash Taylor and the Righteous Path, the music plays, the church music plays.
Man, Dustin, I hate to do this to
And
you,
you can put him
but
anywhere on
your
the show.
time
5 minutes is up.
is
Oh,
up.
yeah. Say, oh, yeah.
Your
There you
time
go. There you go.
is up. Try to remove you.
I'll get out of here.
All right. Thank you. Oh! Your time. Boom! It keeps doing your time is up there. What's up, Gun Show?
What up, BT? What's going on?
Man, it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time since we talked. We talk every once in a while in the Facebook Messenger if we see something. You know what? I noticed that me and you reach out to some if we see something really shitty. Did you notice?
Especially today, right?
I'm gonna ask you. Did you watch the show?
No, we caught the tail end of it, and it's probably a good thing because I'm very critical about watching larger products and the realism of it, and if it makes sense. And some of the stuff that I've seen since then, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're there because they earned their spot, but
Sure. But that was a really, real. I told you, we're talking about War Games, a girls match. I told you that I would have fired the agent for that because they did all kinds of stuff that I've had shitty matches before too. I've been part. I mean, you were there. You were having shitty matches, but no.
Yes, I was.
But I've booked crappy matches. One time I booked a 60-minute hardcore match.
Ooh.
What the hell was I thinking? So yeah.
Well, I would have hated to be any part of that.
Tell me, you've been with Memphis Wrestling since the start, and you're one of those guys that you haven't left. You might have took some time off for an injury, but you have been there from the start. What? And I remember us talking about this, how excited you really was being part of Memphis Wrestling. Is it still there? Is the excitement still there?
It's still there, man. It's Memphis Wrestling. I mean, if you grew up watching the stuff and you're finally a part of it, why go anywhere else? Like, this is the best place to be in the whole Mid-South. I mean, even this side of the Mississippi River, this is the place to be, Memphis Wrestling.
And you brought, I talked to Dustin one time. I mean, there's so many people coming in and out, but you was one of those guys, and we talked about this, but you was one of those guys that got stuck. You wasn't able to do Memphis Wrestling because Memphis Wrestling was gone.
Right, because when I was getting bigger into the business and actually learning what made sense and not just going out there doing a whole bunch of moves and stuff, I was just kind of stuck in the whole North Mississippi thing, and I wasn't at a place where I could travel. So I did miss out on a lot when I first got into business, because nowadays, like with the Wrestle Center and everything that's available. My God, if we would have had that available back then, there's no telling where a lot of us could be today. I mean, it's ridiculous.
How have you
Like,
adjusted? I know you've adjusted, but how hard was it to adjust to just doing those? And I criticized until I just sat back and watched a 5-minute match on TV. It's the
that's what
main
I said.
it's a main
I said,
event, 5
this is
minutes.
longer than half my matches. This video right here is longer than half my matches, period.
Have you been able to say, okay, I can do this kind of thing? I'm still going to get stuff in. I'm still going to show,
Yeah.
especially in the big match.
Like we say, when you're in the business, you're always learning. There's never a spot when you're not learning, because
Right.
if you knew everything, why are you not getting some kind of salary contract? So, I mean, I'm still learning. It's very odd to be the gun show versus Extreme Brett Michaels. That I used to do all the high flying and the crazy moves and even some of the hardcore stuff. I missed out on a lot, man. Who knew that all you got to do is maybe throw a punch, do
Brett,
a
come on now.
suplex,
There is probably a
do a
ton of
spine
people that
buster, do a
told you
clothesline,
that.
and go home.
There's a ton of people that told you could just do that, but you weren't going to listen to them. So
Yeah, I probably wouldn't listen because back then, I mean, I was like, oh, let me do this fight, let me do this move. Oh my God, this would be awesome, and I was just there to do one of the awesome parts of the thing. And now I'm just like, hey, what can I do to better the show? What can I do to help you guys make the show successful, better? I mean, every single person on this roster gets better and better each episode. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, if you go back to episode 1 and
man,
see me laughing while Johnny Lyons is
your
kicking the crap
time
out of me.
is up.
Oh,
Boom! It's the gun show, baby. All right. With the one and only, you got 5 minutes, brother. Thanks for joining me. I want to introduce you. What did you put? Philip. Well known to me as Bull. How the hell are you, Philip?
Doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
I think this is one of those things where it's one of my rowdy friends came over kind of thing.
Yeah. Didn't get much rowdier.
So we talked just a little bit, me and the gun show, and I sent you a thing. Did you think the girls' War Games match was as shitty as I did?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I think you had 3 people in there that didn't belong. I think Liv and Rhea should have had their own match. It didn't have to be for the title. It could have just been something that they did for like a revenge match or something. It didn't, but yeah, they blew it with that one. It's becoming a routine. Io Sky is going to try to kill herself with a garbage can off the top of the cage. It's they've got to figure out something else to do about their matches. With the men, you had everyone in the match except for CM Punk, which they are trying to tie that story in now, post match. But you have a storyline with everyone involved. With the girls' match, you have Liv and you have Rhea, and I guess her, with Rodriguez. You have those; they are intertwined. Everyone else is just in the match.
Well, I find it. I was really bitching mainly because I know you have a either one person or a group of people that put something like that together, and they put they put one high spot on one side of the cage and one high spot on the other side of the cage. You're not really supposed to do that, especially if it's a heel on one side and a baby on the other. Why do you do that when the camera should be on the one big spot? If you want to do another one, let's go ahead and do it. But now they did it right in the men's because you had both Usos up on jumping at the same time. But that was all. And I thought it was just the chair shots God, just so
Yeah.
bad. They used a baseball bat. It reminded me of something in AEW where they use a baseball bat and the person just gets up. It's like it didn't even bother them. I thought overall it was a good show, but they had the problems, and it felt to me like I don't know if I told you this or said this, but it felt like the beginning of something to lead us into WrestleMania.
Yeah, the everyone kept thinking there at the end that it's so long and drawn out. I mean, you had the celebration in the ring twice, and then you made it all the way down to the entrance, and they paused again. Even CM Punk came from back behind the curtain, and they all posed together. And then you're thinking, here comes The Rock. Now it's The Rock's moment. Now he's fixing to pick who he wants to go after, and it was just nothing. But then when you said that about starting a new chapter or starting a new, turning another page, since it is like,
Right.
This is the end of the year pay-per-view. Okay. So they've turned the page on this year and now they're going into something else. And Monday night last night really helped further that along.
I
That's what
thought so.
think,
I
too.
want to ask you something because me and Lance, my partner in crime, your friend and mine sometimes, Lance Levine, said that the New Day angle was distasteful. He didn't like it. I love that.
Yeah. I
Have
gotta
you
tell
seen
you that
anything about that being distasteful? I didn't feel like it was distasteful.
I think you have to take into consideration it could have been seen as distasteful. However, I think it's a lot of people who are very emotionally engulfed in that trio. They love that trio. That is one of the most beloved trios of all time. And at first, it didn't seem like it was ever going to be that way. And then as they morphed, over and over again, reinventing themselves, doing this, growing as a trio, becoming more and more successful, people got endeared with them. And then now you've got people who were.
Bull, I hate to do this.
Your
but
time
Yeah.
is up.
Oh, here we go. Story time with Stacy. Stacy, Jane, how the hell are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You all what's your gimmick tonight? You always have your gimmick on.
I'm not just the name tag on the screen. That's all I got tonight.
You are the STS Council President, Chief Executive.
Magistrate.
You're good.
Yeah, it's great.
What story you got for us tonight?
I don't really have a story. I was racking my brain all weekend, man. I don't have a story tonight. I really don't. I just wanted to be heard. I just wanted to be on here. I wanted to be a part of it.
Well, I was going to give you full 5 minutes because I try to keep from talking all the time because you cussed me out the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to make sure.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to know. What'd you think about that? Boom! I had the gun show on here.
You certainly did. You did. And you also had the hair. You had the hair on. I really miss watching him wrestle. I miss watching Dustin wrestle. I remember watching him wrestle. I know I'm jumping. I remember watching him wrestle early, like way early on. And it's so just weird to see him at this level. Man, he's amazing. And then the gun show, wow. Good.
Me and Dustin met at a show in Jesus, I don't know. I'll just make up something. It was somewhere. Wiener. How about that? That sounds funny. Yeah. Wiener, Arkansas. And it was me and my tag team. And then it was Psycho. And Psycho was holding the dial. And him and Simon were looking at Psycho like Psycho had lost his mind, which he did a couple times. But that's how we met. We've been friends ever since. It's weird because there's a lot of people in the wrestling business that I was friends of. During that time, I ran into Cade. He was Christian Jacobs' tag team partner. I ran into him recently at Walmart. I hadn't seen him in years. But Dustin has, when Dustin got ready to do Memphis Wrestling, and to me, it was just an honor because Gun Show talked about this, that just to be part of Memphis Wrestling. Yeah. But I was one of the first guys that he said, hey, this is what we're doing,
That's cool.
And I threw out, let me do the review show for the first 12 weeks and a podcast. And then, well, we're coming in on 200 episodes. So,
Woo.
it helps to be nice to people.
It certainly do.
I mean,
Absolutely.
sometimes I'm mean, but not a lot of times. What was that saying that I told you one time, some people don't like BT, or some people don't. What was it that we said all the time? It was so funny. Just
God.
if you're listening to this podcast, and me and Stacy's been friends for about 16 or 17 years, and if you read our conversations in Messenger, you would think we were mentally ill.
Oh my God.
Times
Oh,
10.
God. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
it's bad. It's
I
bad.
can say, we can each say some of the weirdest things, and the other person just goes with it. And it doesn't. One of my favorite things recently is the wife when she brought home the wrong macaroni and cheese or something.
It was the wrong wontons, I think.
Yeah, it was. And I said, I think I'm talking to the lawyer. I think I'm fixing to divorce her. And you was like, well, what's going to
hate
happen?
that.
You sent me a message like a couple of days later. Well, what's happening? And I said something about she put the barbecue sauce in the wrong place or something. I've been giving her hell about all these little things she does. Man, it's going to end for sure now. But
you have no idea what you would do without her.
oh yeah, we've been together for 14 years. You can't. Woo.
Yeah.
There's not many people could put up with me for 14. You being my friend for Bull that was just on here. He had said something about me. We've been friends for a long time. He said, if you haven't wanted to either hug or punch BT in the face, you have never been his real friend. And you might want to do that within a 5-minute span.
No kidding.
We almost lost a job one time because I called him something and he punched at me. How do you explain that to your wife that you got fired because you're fighting with one of your friends?
Oh my God.
All right, I'll let you talk. Your
I don't have
time
anything to say.
is up. It is. For third appearance, you and Stacy, y'all fighting to be part of the superstars of 5-minute time limit.
I can't take her place.
Hey.
Absolutely not.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. She has Duchess. You have that what is it? 19 maybe 87 or 88. It's that late night DJ sexy talk.
The songbird. Yeah. If anybody's hiring, I'd take a job. But yes.
There you go. So we did something last month, and you did something again, the same thing this month. I think it's fun because you're not a current wrestling fan, right?
Yes. So it's been fun listening to the lineup prior to me. So I have no clue as to some of these matches. I recognize names, but I don't know much about it. So I'm coming in cold on this. So I had an assignment.
I give you an assignment every time.
I get wrestling assignments.
So what? Last night on Monday Night Raw, we had the main event. We had Sami Zayn against Seth Rollins, and you know what? I think you've seen Seth Rollins twice now. But tell me, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that match?
All right. First of all, as a Jersey girl, I appreciate freaking Rollins. I appreciate that. Like right away, I was like, I'm liking this one. So it seemed almost, I don't want to say basic, given some of the other matches that I've seen, but it seemed almost so simple. Like it was a simple, fun. It was fun to watch. It was. I enjoy it. I love. It's funny because I hadn't watched wrestling in so long, and then I'm like now, thanks to you, dipping my toe back into it, and it is fun. It is fun to watch. So
And what's
it's
I'm
like a
gonna
soap
tell you
opera. Once you
something.
get pulled in, it's like it just never ends.
Yeah, you said something right there that is so
Yes.
true. It looks simple. I'm gonna tell you why it looks simple
Oh,
and
well.
flawless, because
Mhm.
these are two of the best guys in the business. They're gonna put on a show. They know where to go with every move and everything. I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Did you ever think during that match that Sami Zayn was wearing Santa Claus's pants?
You know, he looked at his pants and I'm like, those are really red. I have to say, I was more of a fan of Seth Rollins' look than Sami Zayn. Maybe it's the bad boy look. I don't know, but I was more appreciative of that.
And you watch it to the very end where the guy
I
jumped
did with
in
the
the end
special
after the
appearance,
match?
yes.
Yeah.
Who just stood there and glared at him.
Now, by
That-
the way, that's
yeah.
a damn good looking guy right there. Now, Drew
I wasn't mad
McIntyre.
at it. I
Yeah.
can't say I was mad.
Drew Galloway. Now that's a real man right there. So
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't want to turn around and get hit in the face. So that would be scary. But it's entertaining, and like you and I have talked about it. I'm all old '80s wrestling fans, so where it wasn't it was I mean, obviously it's wrestling, but it didn't seem to be as I don't want to insult anybody, but like as polished. It didn't seem to be as professional
it
as
was
it is
not.
now.
It was, but it was in the sense
Yeah.
that it was a lot during that
It
time.
was
with-
growing at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to put it because there was. I think there was that realism, like
Mhm.
we call it kayfabe, but that realism that they wanted to stay with, and I mean, for example, Bruno Sammartino looked like he was this big guy with a barrel stomach and hair all over his body, and looked like he could break somebody in half, but he didn't. If you go back and watch, Sami Zayn, and I know someone's going to say that I should die in a bad death when I say this, but Sami Zayn
Shame on
and Seth Rollins were both better wrestlers than Bruno Sammartino. It meant there was a personality there.
Right.
There was a polish there that, like you said, that wasn't there as it is now.
Yeah.
And I think
Well, each year or each
generation,
level
yeah.
generation, perfect. It just gets a little more. It grows. It grows like anything would. I mean, you have the roots, and then it continues to grow and blossom. So it's fun. It's entertaining, and it's insane to when it first opened up. When I was looking at this match, when it first opened up, the amount of people, like the space that this was in, I was like, holy shit. That's a lot. Oh, sorry. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And I remember watching, the WWF, when it looked like maybe there was like 500 people in the ring.
I hate to do this, Duchess,
Oh,
but
time's
your
up.
time is up. All right, we're welcoming Ed. Ed for his second appearance on 5. Look, I don't even know the name of it. 5-minute time limit. How's it going, Ed?
Hey, I got to say the guests tonight have been fantastic. Glad to be back. I'm having a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, I was really happy with having as many people. I've been bugging Gun Show and Dustin for ever since we started this, and they always Gun Show forgets. Dustin forgot one time. Dustin was busy. Dustin's extremely busy. I want to ask you, since I talked to Dustin about it, and you're you watch Memphis Wrestling every week. We talk about it every week on X. So if you follow us on at Comic Book Mark BT, Ed always posts something on there to me about it. What did that mean to you as a fan? And I'll say it meant a lot to me, but what did it mean to you to be able to say, oh, Aaron Roberts, he just got ID'd?
I think you know that we've both been big fans of this guy since the beginning. You could tell he has it. He has size. He's got a true heel character. Seems like he stays with that. Matches always have me intrigued. Keeps his power going. That's puts Memphis more on the map. So I was really pumped to see that, and I think he's definitely worthy of that.
They were telling Bronson Reed's weight the other night, and I may be wrong here, but I think they said 360. Think about that for a moment. Aaron Roberts is bigger
Yes,
than
agreed.
Bronson Reed, and he is got that speed that Reed has.
He carries his size very well. He's not just some lumbering, just a dude out there just carrying all that size.
And, Dustin talked about this, and I think me and you, I've said something on the podcast about it. His dad was a staple in this area, and I guess you call them outlaw promotions. But in the Dyersburg, Tennessee area, they go to Dyersburg once a year, and it's always a big deal with them. But his dad was always just total professional with, I worked with him a couple of times. One time I had him outside the ring to punch him as a manager. I was a manager then and punched him, and I barely hit him. And he pulled me to the side and said, next time you're in front of a crowd like that, give it to me. So I did next time. So, yeah, people they should never tell me things like that, Ed, because you got some stuff behind you. It's not wrestling related, but what do we got behind you? You're huge.
My wife, I guess my wife's always called this my bird room, my Larry Bird room. So I got wrestling belts, Yankee jerseys, lots of Larry Bird jerseys. This is like my little memorabilia area.
All right, so I'm going to tell you, I wasn't a Bird fan.
Some wrestling masks.
Me and my friend Lynn, who's also a wrestling fan, was a huge Bird fan, and I always was going against him. But after I went back to watch all the Bird stuff, I'm just like, why did I not like this guy? And Ed, he is a nasty guy. Have you seen all the trash talking that he did during the games?
Yes, and a lot of it was undercutted, and you wouldn't really pick up on it until after. But yeah, he can be super nasty as far as that goes.
And what about what we've been talking about Survivor Series a little bit? What was your thoughts on Survivor Series? Did you get a chance to watch it?
I did watch it. I thought it was a good show. I wouldn't say elite. I thought the men's match was really good, and I heard you bring up the women's match. I'm not a negative guy, but Nia was rough. A couple of them are very, very rough and dangerous. Love Io Sky. I think she's always goes 100% every time, but she was even dangerous a little bit. But I didn't dislike that match. But the women's match was just subpar compared to some of the other matches.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just turned it. Lance calls me he texted me today and said WWE Mark. But what'd you think about the New Day angle last night?
Well, I think I might be a little bit on Philip's side. I don't think it was overkill. I thought that direction they went surprised me, so I guess they got me on that. A little darker than I thought it would be, and maybe there's more to it. They keep us on a little roller coaster. I like that they're still together. I was thinking it was going to be like a swerve.
I texted Lance. I said, this is when they turn him, right? Because I knew they had big plans for Xavier because they had put his picture on all that Netflix stuff. And I said, well, they're going to turn him. When they did it this way, I was like in shock. And then, in my mind, I want an old Memphis angle. I want him to beat up Big E.
Yeah.
But he's not, they can't beat him up. Yeah. Well, dude, this is going to be it. I appreciate you jumping in. We'll see you next month. Let me just go ahead and tell you, your time is up. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Fun show. 5-minute time limit live here on Facebook or YouTube. I appreciate it. I had some people watching. We had our biggest crowd ever. Look, we do this the first Tuesday of every month. Be ready to join us. Don't just let the regulars be here. I'll let anyone talk. Well, I might talk over you guys, but we will talk. How's that for at least 5 minutes? Thanks to everyone that dropped by. Fun time. I love recording these. Fun. As everyone knows, same bad time, same bad channel. On the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows, well, you got to know this by now, especially if she's watching, I love my mama.
Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live this Sunday, December 8th. Say his name and he appears. Joe Hendry is coming to Memphis Wrestling for the Grind City Rumble. Plus, Buff Bagwell and AJ Francis. Meet them at our VIP experience. Saturday, December 28th, watch AEW World's End at Dave & Buster's in Memphis. It's free to watch. Sunday, January 5th, don't miss our first TV taping of 2025. Sunday, January 26th, join us and celebrate our 4-year anniversary. Don't miss Superbout 4 at the Wrestle Center. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.